Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about changes to minimum completion rate on Doordash. So recently I got a couple of different emails from my subscribers. Troggy and BC, thank you so much for emailing me about this and making this video possible. Now, each of them have their own particular theories on the subject, and I will go over them, but this is something we did talk about in other videos and is going to change how a lot of people operate on Doordash. So with that said, I want to go over everything that is being said in this email, what Doordash tells you versus how it actually is, as well as what BC and Troggy are saying on the subject and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain, is never intended to be, legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to say that everything that we're going to be going over on this subject is very market dependent on what applies to me, and my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started. Changes to the minimum completion rate. We're making an update to the minimum completion rate criteria for dashers in your area starting 3/7. The minimum completion rate to remain active on the Doordash platform will increase from 80% to 90%. And for the record, I just checked the Doordash website specifically, and that is official. That's not a market-to-market thing. That is a universal thing. We knew about this coming in from last July, I believe it was. I made a video on the update as well as the completion rate as a whole. I will leave that in the description. Feel free to check that out. But overall, that is a huge change. A lot of people were dangling in the mid 80s so that way they could multi-app effectively, but Doordash is not happy with the multi-appers operating in this way. We understand this is a change to the completion rate requirement you're used to. To help with this change on 2/26, we will be resetting your completion rate to 100%, so you can continue dashing without interruption. You won't have to focus about building your completion rate back up, and instead can focus on maintaining the new 90% minimum completion rate. Instead of what they were doing before to where they would just wipe your history clean, what they're doing now is that they're just setting you at 100. They're not going to force you to build it back up again. They're just saying, all right, you're at 85, you're now at 100, try to stay above the 90. Which personally, for me, I always tried to stay above 95% so I could stay on the large order program and the catering program on Doordash, because you need to maintain that on a week-to-week basis to stay in those programs. That's where the money was for me. The rest of the email that Doordash sent on this is actually just the same thing that they would say in the completion rate video already. Again, that video is going to be in the description. But here are some things that Troggy and BC were saying. Here we go with the threats and mass deactivation from DD. I don't know if everybody got this Doordash crap, but if not, here goes. Would love to get your take on this threat towards independent contractors from DD. Keep up the awesome work on your channel for us gig workers, Troggy. Well, first off, yes, everybody got this crap. It's on the official website now, all lined up down there. If you want to check it out, the link to that article that I'm referring to is in the description. To be honest with you, for me, I was always maintaining over a 95% anyway because I wanted access to the better aspects of Doordash, specifically the pizza program and the catering program, because those had higher valued orders. So this wouldn't have affected me. However, I could see how somebody who was multi-apping in such a way to where they're unassigning a lot or they're taking borderline orders, and you know what I'm talking about with borderline orders that you would only accept. You would go to the restaurant, they say it's going to be like 5-10 minutes before the order is actually ready, and then you're just standing there with your eyes rolled because you know that they're just ignoring Doordash orders, so you walk the hell out and unassign. But here's the other thing to that. Doordash has also been deactivating people for unassigning in general too, which is also scary. And it wouldn't surprise me if a mass deactivation was on the horizon or is closer than we think or is already happening and there's just not enough noise about it. So either way is possible. This is what BC is saying on the subject. Forcing us to be top dashers. This is hitting my area. Sucks to be forced into top dasher status status. Well, I don't know if this is forcing Top Dasher specifically, but I know that a lot of people are not a fan of feeling this kind of forced into taking a certain type of order or being in a certain completion rate bracket. I'm not a fan of these kind of limits overall, but I feel like a fair amount of diversification of your gig portfolio and making sure you're never too dependent on DoorDash, you'll be okay at the end of the day if you are still cherry picking. But that also said, cherry picking, not taking okay orders, and if you get there and there's a semi wait, you'll unassign it. Not taking bad orders and then bitching about Top Dasher. Good quality orders, things that you'd get from the catering program, things that you would get from the pizza program. Granted that some areas also have the Dasher reward system, which if anybody's ever been on the Dasher reward system, they know that everything kind of has been combined into a single program as opposed to a bunch of individual programs, which sucks for anybody who really liked the early access program or things to that effect. But this is also why you see a lot of people in Uncle Sam's territory try to put their grubby little mitts into the gig economy, because quite frankly, this stuff isn't okay. If DoorDash is going to force an employee mentality upon its gig workers, you either need to leave DoorDash or switch your priority from DoorDash to other gig platforms. I know that a lot of people need Top Dasher specifically because it is so hard to get on otherwise, but if you schedule yourself as far out as possible, if you only take quality orders, and you're maintaining the ratings that would keep you on the platform, you should be okay. Now, are you at risk of mass deactivation? You're at risk of mass deactivation regardless of whether you're doing the right thing on the platform or not. That's how DoorDash operates. DoorDash has never been a good company ran by good people. They will find a way to wrongfully deactivate you and get away with it. They've been doing it for years. All in all, yeah, the update to the completion rate sucks, and it is a frustrating thing to deal with, but it's just another day in the life and times of being a DoorDash driver. If you also would like to email me on any subject that you would like me to go over, my email is drivenwyld@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to me through there, and who knows, maybe you'll get a shout out in a video as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.